Hello, my name is Ari Waldman. I'm a person who stutters. Today is my video Tanya, day 42. Sorry I missed yesterday. It's also Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020, the 16th day of the Jewish month of Kislev. Here goes. From Chabad.org, Baruch Hashem, Daily Tanya, Quintres Acharon, Essay 7. And I'm sitting on the floor. Wednesday, the 16th of Kislev, 5781, December 2nd, 2020. Tzedakah, as we shall presently appreciate, sensitizes the Jew who practices it so that the superrational degree of chokhmah in his neshama is able to light up the innermost recesses of his heart. As mentioned in the introduction to the Quintres Acharon, the Rebbe observes that this is one of the several essays that would appear to belong more logically in Igeret HaKodesh. The Rebbe also notes the subjects discussed in this essay are elaborated upon in Likutei Torah, beginning of Parshat Re'eh, and in the Mamar, beginning Amar Rav Yoshua ben Levi, B'chol Yom, which Rabbi Yosef Yitzhak delivered in 5688, 1928. It is written, and charity, like a mighty river, Amos, and Ba'amos, Sof Siman, Utzdaka Kenachal Eitan, of chapter 5:2. The verse begins by saying that justice should become manifest, like water that gushes into revelation from the hidden depths of the earth. It goes on to say that tzedakah, charity, should likewise reveal and maintain its intensity, like the surging current of a mighty river. Hebrew Nachal Eitan. The meaning in spiritual terms is Perush, that tzedakah resembles the mighty river which issues Kamo Shenachal Eitan Hu Hamshacha, from the state of Eitan. Nim Shechet Mibchinat Eitan. River suggests a downflow flow, in this case emanating from Chachma, which is termed Eitan. This word as is known has three meanings: vigor, toughness, and antiquity. All three meanings relate to the soul's element of Chachma, and are reflected in the tripartite written form of the letter Yud, commonly representing Chokhmah, which comprises the basic part of the letter and its upper and lower tips. This level of Eitan, Chokhmah, flows down into the intellectually expansive river called Bina, Shehi B'chinat Nekuda Behechala. In this state, it is known in Kabbalistic terms as the point in its chamber. This phrase can refer either as above to the seminal point of Chachma, being drawn into the broad chamber of Bina, or to the essential self-nullification of the soul that derives spontaneously from Chachma, which transcends the loving self-nullification that is consciously produced by the meditation exercised by Bina, being drawn into the innermost point of the heart, the chamber for the issue from Chachma, uterein de rein v'kule, and as two comrades who are inseparable. The continued existence of all creation depends upon the constant union in Atzilut of the supernal Sefirot of Chochmah and Bina. V'otiot eitan mishamshot le'atid, the letters that spell the Hebrew word eitan each indicate the future tense. At a deeper level, this term thus hints at future revelation. In the time to come, there will be a revelation of the spiritual degree called Eitan. Perosh Ana Atid Le'it Galia. This means I am destined to reveal myself. That which is presently in a state of concealment is destined to become manifest in the time to come. K'moshe katuv hine yaskil avdi v'gomer. As it is written, behold, my servant will prosper, i.e., in the future. This means that at that time, with the arrival of Mashiach, about whom the verse states, my servant will prosper, the infinite Ein Sof and divine unity will be revealed within the innermost point of one's heart by the calling forth of the mighty river, which is a radiance of the supernal wisdom that will illuminate the inwardness of the heart, so that one will be nullified utterly in the divine unity from the depths of one's heart. After it has been cleared of the obscuring orla, of physical lusts, and so on, when the metaphorical orla, literally foreskin, will be removed, as in the verse, and you shall excise the orla of your heart, and likewise, the Lord your God will circumcise your heart. Nothing will hide the innermost core of the heart. It will then be possible for the heart to experience the utter self-nullification of the neshama to God that derives from the revelation of Chochmah in the soul. This essential soul level reflects all three above-mentioned connotations of Eitan. The resolute vigor of the soul's essence, its unswerving toughness, and the hoary antiquity of the bequest to the Jewish people from the patriarchs of old. V'hine ata begalut hachel hazeh. At present as well, during the exile of this folk, yesh gam kain eitza yiutza l'ha'ir ktsat or Hashem m'bchinat eitan l'toch nekudat pnimiut halev kein le'atid. Counsel is offered herewith as to how to bring a glimmer of illumination of the light of God from the state of Eitan into the innermost point of the heart, as in the time to come. This is attained by arousing the abounding divine mercies for the godly spark within one's soul. For in truth, so long as a man does not merit the revelation of the light of God from the state of Eitan in the innermost core of his heart, so that he becomes nullified in the divine unity until the very expiry of the soul, then the spark within his soul is indeed to be pitied, for that spark is drawn from the state of the supernal wisdom itself. And when it cannot illuminate from its own state, from the state of Chochmah, that is utterly nullified to God, into the innermost core of the heart, which is the proper place for the revelation of his illumination, then it is really truly an exile. For what is exile if not the shackling of one's gifts? Through the plentiful supernal mercies, however, that are drawn down upon the soul, it goes out of exile and imprisonment, and illuminates the innermost core of the heart with this great love. As is known from the verse, for Jacob who redeemed Abraham, as expounded in Likutei Amarim, the Midrash teaches that Abraham was saved in the future merit of Jacob, who is destined to descend from him. In spiritual terms, when Abraham's characteristic attribute, kindness and love, remains latent within a Jew, it is revealed and redeemed by Jacob's characteristic attribute, mercy. Since we are speaking here of supernal mercy, there we must first sufficiently vigorous arousal from below that will cause it to descend to this lowly world. The required arousal initiated from below must therefore spring from the palpable realities of this lowly world. In plain words, as the Alter Rebbe will now conclude, this is the practice of tzedakah. It is known that an arousal from above is specifically dependent on an arousal from below, meaning that the abundant mercies from above are secure by an arousal of great mercies in the hearts of the compassionate and the kindly, as Jews are characterized in the Gemara, so that they bestow physical gifts of gold and silver and the like. Thus, the effect of tzedakah is actually the effect of the mighty river, Nachal Eitan. For the arousal from below, expressed by the practice of tzedakah, draws forth the loving self-nullification of the vigorous essence, the Eitan, of the soul, so that it becomes revealed through the river of Bina, within the innermost core of man's heart. The Alter Rebbe now goes on to write that one's tzedakah should be given unstintingly, without regards for limitations. Just as a person in jeopardy spends without limit in order to save his life, so too should one hold one's own godly soul in high regard and give tzedakah boundlessly. All know the verse, skin for skin, i.e., a person will protect one limb at the expense of another, but all that a man possesses, he will give for his soul. He will give away everything in order to save his life. The Alter Rebbe adds a word to the quoted verse so that it ends. For his godly soul, one should be willing to forego everything for the sake of his godly soul, in order to illuminate it with the light of life. The infinite one, blessed be he. This is the end of my video, Tanya, day 42. Have a great day.